Hey guys, good evening. Happy Monday. We're back once again for another edition of our Stocks by Request, where we talk about the top stocks that you guys requested via social media. So for this video, we're going to talk about BSC, APL, MM, SC, SM, DITO, TBGI, and Ali. And on the second video, which is coming out on my second channel an hour after this, we're going to have SM Prime, PHA, BDO, maybe ABA, ASEN, BPI, and MRC. So let's begin. And as what I would always do, I'd look at the index first. The index was down for the day, down 0.48%, closed at 7,203. So if you'd also look at how the PSEI is progressing, and you'll allow me to zoom in, it's still going on the same direction as what we've talked about last week. It's still off, failing to break the 7,307 resistance. And today, what's so interesting about it, as it closed at 7,203, it's at a make or break situation, whether if it will bounce off the 20-day moving average or not. Again, as what I've mentioned, MACD, 20-day moving average, are confirming that the PSEI is currently consolidating, moving sideways. And as of what we're seeing right now, it's moving downward based on its failure to break the 7,307 resistance. So the current range has not changed from last week. 7,039 support, 7,307 resistance. Value turnover for today is still high at 10.14 billion pesos. So I'm curious, by the way, what do you guys think? If you have a choice, who will you hold on to? Will it be MM or will it be DITO? Assuming that you have the shot to sell and take profits, who will you prioritize? MM or DITO? Who will you hold on to? Anyways, let's start it off with BSC, which has continued its breakout. No, so we've mentioned this, that this was one of the biggest triggers at the middle of December, and then you see this also as of this point in time. Large move of BSC. BSC closed last week at 1.43. Today it opened at 1.55. So very, very bullish opening. The opening was much, much higher than the closing of Friday, continuing the bullish movement, at least from a candlestick perspective. Then what's so interesting about that is if you look at the candles, it dipped to a low of 145. And if you look at how it coincides, the dip for today was very, very close to the close of last Friday. So you can suggest that as it hit the lows of today, at certain points, people figured out that, hey, the support of 143 from the close of last Friday should be an area for us to start picking it up. And lo and behold, as it hit 145, we saw BSC continue to push up again. Then it closed at 1.86, still pushing from the breakout that we're actually seeing right now. So it's still far from the moving average, at least from the faster one, the 20-day moving average. MACD is not showing us yet any signs of reversal, similar to the moving average. RSI is still at overbought levels, but it's still not crossing down as well. And if you look at it also, it's still moving at the path of its breakout. And I highly suggest this to a lot of people who are watching this. It's very, very important to stick to what your signals are, meaning if your signals are not yet telling you to sell, then the best and most prudent thing for you to do is to hold on to your positions and not to do anything. Anyways, Apollo Global, APL, same thing. It's still progressing. Though today, if you look at it, you have a red candle. If you look at the candle also, but if you look at how it pushed compared to where it was last Friday, we saw it move up from 0.3 to 0.3050. So very, very small movements, but it's up 1.67%. But from a candlestick perspective, it opened at 0.32 but closed relatively lower. But that's what's so interesting about technicals is you follow the range and you follow the trend. So up until now, looking at the trend that we're drawing, this line that I drew, is not broken in spite of a red candle. But I just want to note this, for those who read my book, Breaking the Resistance, and attended the Stock Smart session, please study this combo very, very well. Indecision followed by a bearish candle. But up until now, though, You see our uptrend line still not broken. You see our 20-day moving average still not broken. You see our longer trend line also not yet broken. You see the GMMA not yet reversing. You also see the MACD also not showing us any reversal signals as of now. And RSI also is overbought but has not shown any cross down signals yet. So I repeat, MACD no reversal signal yet. MACD no cross down yet. RSI no cross down yet. GMMA no cross down yet. 20-day moving average no cross down yet, and also the uptrend that we posted, both lines are still holding on. So whoever's using any of those signals, please make sure that once they start showing you any signs of take profits, it would be prudent also not to rely on your emotions and to actually sell when you see those signals start to come out for you. Anyways, let's continue. So you have talked about BSC, we talked about APL. Let's talk about SM. SM, I mentioned this last week that it's very, very close to its resistance and it has not broke past it. And similar to what we talked about, after trying to attack the resistance, it had a large black candle. The large black candle broke below the 20-day moving average. So intraday today, you're looking at SM, boom, open at 1,051, but it dipped to as low as 1,043, which is close already to the support level of 1,030 and where the 50-day moving average is. And that's why you saw it intraday after hitting 1,043, bounced a bit, and then closed not high, but close relatively lower than the opening at 1,050. So the range for SM has not changed, 1,100 and 1,030. And that's why I've been saying this over and over. It's not that important that you look at how it's moving on a daily basis. What's more important is you know where the range and the trend is. And the current range right now is 1,100 resistance, 1,030 support. So we talked about BSC, APL, SM. Let's talk about TBGI. So for TBGI, this is how it looks. So we talked about it last week that it's moving up an upward trend. 20, 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages are bullish. MACD, GMMA are still bullish. However, for today, you had a large red candle, open at 0.56 to let it close at 0.51. It's now closing lower than the closing of last Friday. So two things that I'd like to point out for this, looking at it from a candlestick basis. Number one, it closed lower than the closing of last Friday. Number two, it closed lower also than the opening of today. Number three, which looking at the range naman, is this. It broke out from the 0.51 level last Friday. Then as it started to push also for today, it opened at 0.56, went as low as 0.45 but pushed up and stayed above, or at least it's trying to stay above the 0.51 support level. So as of this time, GMMA, no reversal yet. MACD, from the zero crossing and the crossover, no reversal yet. 20, 50, 100-day moving averages and 200-day moving averages, no reversal yet. It's still acting on its breakout, still acting also on its uptrend. And I'll say this over and over, that it's normal for stocks that are breaking out to have red candles as long as hindi nabasag yung bagong support, as long as hindi nabasag yung trend, or as long as your signals, your indicators that you're using are not still showing any signs of reversals, then maybe you don't actually need to sell yet. By the way, for those who want to attend our Stock Smart sessions, we have new ones for 2021. Link is in the description below. For those who want to grab a copy of my book, link is in the description below. For those who want to send me DMs, I try to reply to 20 messages in Instagram. For the others, I try to reply to all of the messages in Patreon. If you guys are learning from this, comment, I'm learning, comment, I want more, like this video as well. Anyways, BSC, APL, SM, TBGI, let's talk about Ali. So for Ali also, I mentioned it last week that it's been consolidating. It's at the resistance. Then for today, something significant happened. It's now at the third day. If you notice it here, it's quite clear. It's now at the third day of it, below the new support, below the new resistance. So resistance is at 40.41. It did not break above that or go above that last Thursday. It did not do so also last Friday. Then today, the selling continued. The stock opened at 40, closed at 39.65. It went to as low as 39.2, but it got protected by the 50-day moving average. So 50-day moving average is quite valid as it hit this particular level. We saw it bounce up intraday, but currently right now the resistance is still at 40.41. So please do write this down. Resistance is 40.41. Support is 38.12. MACD is still continuing its change in direction. GMMA is about to cross. Looking at the RSI, it's still hovering below oversold levels already. But as of this point in time, it still does not have any push-ups. And it's still, as of this point in time, also below the 20-day moving average. And currently progressing from the breakdown of the 40.4 support level. So there. Before I continue with the last two stocks, MM and Dito, which is highly requested, no, I'm curious, if you own the stock, which of these two would you prioritize holding more? Comment below if you're team MM. Comment below also if you're team Dito. I'd like to say this also, if you're new to this, please don't buy the stock just because we talked about it here. Please never buy, sell, hold, or avoid the stock just because it's discussed in YouTube. You have to do your own due diligence and research. This video is for informational purposes so that you see how I analyze it. You see that it does not require a lot of time for you to be able to analyze a stock, that you can do it at night before going to sleep and have a trading plan for tomorrow. But that's the whole intention of this, to give you information, to give you data, but not for you to be, oh, we didn't discuss yung TBGI, we didn't have TBGI. Don't do it like that. You're shortchanging yourself, your money, your responsibility, and nagpapayaman sa inyo yung pinaghihirapan, that you spend a lot of time, due diligence, to study the stock that you want to buy, sell, hold, or avoid. But in the same way, you take a lot of time also to build the skill, because it's the skill that will help you make money in the markets. So I'll start it off with MM. MM, as you can see right here, red candle, but it's still moving in our current sideways progression. Intraday today, no, it tried to push higher, as you can see, opened at 8.15, which was massively higher already than the closing price of last Friday. But as it opened higher, it was not sustained, primarily because, please remember, at the 8 peso level, you have a resistance there. And as there's resistance, sellers are dominating. As sellers are dominating, more sellers bring the prices down. And that's why we saw the stock from 8.15, 8.25, boom, go lower and close at the 7.8 mark. So as of now, nothing has changed from where we were last week. Resistance is still 8 pesos per share, and the support is still at the 6.4 mark. Mary Mart is still consolidating. So for those who are looking at it, teka, pag hindi niya ma-break yung resistance ito, for those who are trading this particular range, that could be an ideology, that could be a plan also for you. That teka, if it's not gonna break out and I own the stock and I'm just in it to quick trade, then it might form a decision point also for you. Lastly, Dito, as you can see right here, no, it's been at the support level right now for the 5th day already. So if you notice it from last Friday, it closed here and it's been hovering at the support level for the past 5 days. Ever since it failed to break out of the 14 peso mark, it dropped close to the 11.3 mark and has hovered at that particular level. So we're seeing Dito form a support right here. We're seeing MM at the resistance. So looking at the range, no, Dito is at the support, which nothing has changed. The support is still 11.3, and then the resistance is still at 14. If it continues to hold and bounces, again, this is a 22%, 22 to 23% upside. For Mary Mart, on the other hand, it's already close to the resistance. So there, I hope you guys got a lot from this. And for the next video, an hour from now, we're going to talk about SM Prime, PHA, BDO, ABA, ASEN, BPI, and MRC. But if you have other requests, put it in the comment section below, and we'll try to make videos on top of it. Or send me a DM via our Patreon community, which is in the description below, or via our Instagram community as well. So there, I hope you guys got a lot from this. I hope that as you start learning and growing and pushing towards the week, use free time like this in the evening to build your skill to get better, because it's your skills that will allow you to move forward. And above and beyond allowing you to move forward, it's your skills that will help you decipher which is a trading plan that will work for you, and you will never go wrong if you continue to invest in yourself and make yourself better. And I'll say this over and over: what all that you need to be able to be financially free is not to wait for the conditions to get better, but rather to make yourself better. It's not about getting the price, but it's about growing and evolving to become that person who's able to get the price. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. See you all in an hour in my second channel. And I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.